Many Americans are not aware that the United States of America has been intentionally starving the people of various nations, including Cuba. Right now, Cuba has faced things like rolling blackouts and power outages throughout the country because the U.S. threatened numerous countries around the world with increased tariffs, including Cuba's regional neighbors, Mexico, and longtime ally, Venezuela, not to sell or even give for free on humanitarian grounds oil to the island nation, forcing the small country to ration energy. The reason why you're hearing about this now, and why this has become an issue now, is because Cuba and Venezuela have been longtime allies. Though Cuba was still heavily sanctioned and embargoed by a spiteful and sadistic America, Venezuela was one of the few countries in the world that aided Cuba by sending the island nation oil. But after the U.S. kidnapped and abducted Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife Celia Flores over bogus reasons, including narco-terrorism, all of that changed. Under Maduro's vice president and acting leader of Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez has sought to placate the American ogre and stop shipping oil to Cuba. The last bit of oil that went shipped to Cuba before the U.S. threatened the world was from Mexico over a month ago on January 9, 2026. A few days ago, the Mexican government under Claudia Sheinbaum recently sent 2 Mexican Navy ships with humanitarian aid to Cuba. The U.S.'s bitterness towards Cuba by applying sanctions and an economic embargo, including of oil, has had a ripple effect on Cuba and its economy. For example, with Cuba unable to supply planes with fuel, the tourism industry, which the nation relies on heavily for its economy and foreign currency, has declined. There are a couple of things that make this story sick and twisted. Firstly, it's a large, gluttonous imperial bullying machine attacking a small island nation just trying to survive. Secondly, the U.S. has sanctioned and embargoed many nations around the world for not doing what the U.S. wants. Cuba is the longest targeted nation of U.S. sanctions and an embargo dating back to 1958, since even before the Fidel Castro government freed the Cuban people from U.S.-backed dictator Fulgencio Batista and his puppet regime. That happened under the Dwight D. Eisenhower regime, who many Americans don't even know or remember. Thirdly, the U.S. is so sick and twisted that it ordered Venezuela not only not to give oil to their longtime ally Cuba, who critically needs it, but deranged America also instructed Venezuela instead to send that oil to Israel, a parasitic entity that 1. supported America's harassment and bullying of Venezuela, 2. supported U.S. terrorist attacks, including the bombing and assassination of Venezuelan fishermen, including double-tap killings, 3. supported U.S. controlling Venezuela's sea and air routes, 4. supported the invasion of Venezuela, 5. supported the kidnapping of Venezuela's president and the president's wife, 6. propagated America's lies about Venezuela, including drug distribution through drug boats, and so on. Americans can pressure and threaten their congresspeople, not physically of course, to take certain actions, including ending the oil and fuel sanctions and economic embargo on Cuba. If you want to go further, you can tell your U.S. congresspeople and senators to stop sending oil to Israel. In the description box, I've included both links to your senator and House of Representatives. If you're too lazy to write a short email, AI it. Cuba and the Cuban people deserve better than to be bullied around by terrorist America and its dog Israel.